From One of One Production Studio, located in Fort Lee, New Jersey, this is The Art of Music Tech. And now, here's your host, Fela and Denis.
Let's go, and welcome to the Art of Music Tech podcast. I'm your host, Fela, and you can see at his place is Denis, my co-host.
What up, guys? Today's a remote version of our podcast.
Yes, I'm at the studio in Fort Lee, and Denis is at his home in Union City. We're also trying out a new format of recording with this. We're using Riverside FM. That's kind of new for us, and it was suggested to us through another client, and liking it. I like how it looks.
You see how it goes.
Good stuff, yeah. So let's get into it. Last week we had a presentation at SAE Institute. SAE is, SAE means School of Audio Engineering Institute. We went there and we did a presentation on social media content creation. So we gave like three of the same presentation to three different classes, which was pretty cool. You could see pictures online. We even got a testimonial. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
The next day.
Unexpected too.
Yeah. The students really enjoyed themselves. They had a lot of great questions. And really just they wanted to find out about what we do here as One of One and 23dB as a company. And it was pretty cool to kind of go back and tell the beginning story of how we got started to now, having our own studio and it's starting out at your place where you're at right now in Union City.
Oh, yeah.
To now we have our own studio together as well as with our business partner, Joy. So that was very cool. We also want to shout out Davion, who invited us to come out and talk with the students, and really want to spread the word on what other things you can do with an audio engineering degree. It's not just music or not just live sound. I mean, what we're doing now has opened up just tremendously in the past 5 years. I mean, you couldn't even imagine doing this kind of thing 10 years ago because equipment was kind of expensive. So it was harder to do a lot of stuff. So, I'm glad to be able to share the knowledge of what we've done together, right?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we're using one-on-one kits right now. So we're not only doing a remote recording, but we're also highlighting our own products, and I'm sure it sounds good even for a remote interview and podcast. And yeah, thanks to Davian for bringing us in. Hooking us up with. The lunch was amazing too. Thank you for that. But most importantly, yes, talking to students and sharing the knowledge and experience we've gained for past 8 years. Like you said, we started in this room. You don't see the rest of the room, but it's fairly small. We started the business here in first 5 years. We ran business out of this room. We mixed, we edited here, and we shared the knowledge with the students and, letting them know that, yeah, like you said, studio and live sound is great. You can always do that. You can do church gigs, wedding gigs, all those gigs. But when the pandemic hit, right, all the clubs were closed, everything was closed. So, we had to switch the gears and, change things up, came up with these kits and, shared the knowledge and experience we had working in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, we actually picked up a fair amount of gigs just because New York City wasn't open. And we were so close in Jersey, though, in another state, and we were privy to have more clientele come in. The other cool thing, we actually did a giveaway of a USB mic, the Mackie USB microphone that we gave out to Isabel at SAE.
Congrats.
We asked the students to follow us on our social media, and she was the lucky winner of the USB mic. So Isabel, enjoy that. And I think we'll get some pictures of her too with her mic. So looking forward to that. Good luck on content creating. That's definitely a good step in the right direction, even with that microphone. And as far as what we talked about with the students' careers in content creation, we kind of split it up in 3 things that we create content for, basically. We create content for endorsements, podcasting, and for social media. So those 3 things, we went over how we got started in endorsements and how that led into podcasting for us, and then led us into social media as well. Should we break that down a little bit more? Or?
Okay, I'll do the endorsements like I did during the presentation. Even though we don't have notes in front of us, but I'll go from what I remember. So we started the business 8 years ago, right? April 2014. And back then we didn't really have a lot of money and equipment to start a business, but we went to a bank, we opened the account, we got an LLC and got it going. But you were touring with Christian already, right?
Yep,
so
I was already out, yeah.
We had few ideas how to, at least how to start. And then a couple months later, we got a paid gig. And then during that gig, we came up with the idea, what if we record your tour in Asia, right?
Yeah, I was
China
my
and
first
Japan.
time going to Asia. And yeah, it was like, why don't we record it, but like really multi-track record it? This was when, recording from off of a board became easier around that time as well. You can just record from like an Ethernet cable and pretty much use the console as like an audio interface, except you're getting all 48 channels or whatever that you're recording. So once I realized what board we had, which was an Avid board at the time.
That was actually pain in the...
oh, yeah. Yeah.
BUTT.
Yeah, figuring out what...
Because I remember you taking my laptop instead of yours because yours couldn't...
Yeah. I ended up taking both because I was advancing shows on my other laptop. So I was rolling with two.
Two heavy laptops.
Two heavy laptops, exactly, because I was a 17-inch and I had a 13-inch.
And we had to buy Pro Tools for like $600.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we bought Pro Tools for that gig. But it was worth it. By the time we had already started the business, so I had an endorsement with Lewitt, but we hadn't really done anything yet, and this was like the first recording we did for an endorser. And that video is still giving us a lot of hits. I mean, I just looked at some of the stuff from Japan and China, like 20,000 hits on a few different videos that we did from those shows. So creating your own,
pretty good.
your own gig that ensures that you're gonna like it. Usually you're not gonna come up with your own crappy gig. So yeah. True. So we created that gig, and then that led into more and more production and really the start of everything, because we didn't really know video like that. It was very new to us because we're both from audio world. So to get into video and start editing and knowing frame rate and how to match the audio to the video, all of that. Yeah, we had a couple of years of just like figuring it all out.
Yeah, trying to make, like Randy said, we used to make horrible videos. Now we're good. And the Randy was the one Randy Fuchs from Artist Relations.
Yes, who we interviewed a few episodes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually Lewitt rep in United States, and he told us that you guys. Well, we told him we can't afford videographer anymore, and he told us you should do it yourself.
And we did. We figured it out and made it happen. And you know, it was a good thing. It was something that we weren't good at, but we knew we had taste like we did in audio, so you know what's good. So if you could figure, you know when something looks good or when it looks bad. And we just kind of went off of that, I feel, and you know, made every video a little better than the last one. Not just, we're going to really knock it out of the park on this one. It was like, okay, now let's just make this sound a little better. Or like, let's just make this look a little better. It was a little too bright in the last one. You know, it was just... And then into us creating the Art of Music Tech series, which this podcast started out as a video series where we would do like 4 or 5 minutes on another engineer or producer or musician or something, and we would just interview them, and you wouldn't even see us. But I realized it was so much good stuff hitting the cutting room floor with the video thing that we said, all right, let's do this podcast thing is really starting to take off. And I love the long form part of it. And from that, people who own businesses started asking us, well, how do you do this video thing? Or how you do this podcasting thing? And then, it turned into more of a business, besides just recording bands and stuff like that, which which is where we came from as 23dB. We wanted to multi-track live bands all over New York City, and we did that for a bit, but it was like, okay, what else could we add to this, because it wasn't always going. So podcasting and endorsement videos really got us started, because we were also earning gear, because we didn't have that much money, so it was like giving the manufacturers videos for gear, and then we were able to use those on our other gigs and be able to work with the Sirius XMs or the Atlantic Records and stuff like that, because we had gear that was up to par that we could use with that, because we ended up, that's how our partnership with Focusrite started a few years into that, and so many other great brands, just from being content creators and being able to give and take.
Also, the side note that we didn't get paid for recording Christian in China and Japan, but we got mics. We didn't get paid to start Art of Music Tech and turn it into a podcast, but it led to so many opportunities we didn't even know about. So even if you have to do something for free, be open to do that, because you never know who's watching, who's listening, who's going to be in the room. Most importantly, because that's how you get, to networking, and how do you get to paid clients, because you have something to show. Or you do multi-track, show me example, and by then we already have an example of Christian. You do a podcast, how do you do it? We already had an example of 2 or 3 podcasts we've been doing. So in order to get paid, I guess you have to prove that you're worth, and your talent and your skill set is worth getting paid and helping other people with their content.
Yeah, you're right. We got great examples to show. That's important. And then, going into the third is social media. creating, reels or stories and video and all sorts of things. All of that is content creation. And it's needed. I don't care if you're a plumber, electrician, doctor, lawyer. If you're not seen online, it's really to the detriment of your business. And for us, it's been the thing that helped us stay afloat was being able to be found online, especially like your Googles and your LinkedIns and stuff like that. People are looking for these types of services, and they'll find us through, Google, Yelp, all those sorts of searchable things. We have pictures of what we do, audio and video and proof. That now we're getting calls from people, that said like Food Network randomly because they found us online because they also saw all the pictures and who we've worked with, and people feeling comfortable with their heavier production work to send to us. So we went in, we basically went over all of this and more in depth with the students, and hopefully to help them see other things that they can do, the possibilities of stuff that they can be creative with. Because, Dennis, you do all the music for a lot of our clients as well. So it's not like, all we do is editing podcasts and da-da-da. It's like, wow, we get to do a lot of different creative things, right?
Yes, and also I think talking to students, helped us to realize that, a lot of people, whoever's going to school for audio and video, they need to know that. They think that being a musician and just making beats or composing music, that's all you can do in the industry. In music industry, right? And not knowing that, okay, but Homes by Vanda, she needs music. She either uses free royalty-free music from Google, and she would sound like everybody else, like millions of other people. She can't use Jay-Z because she'll get blocked on YouTube. So in this situation, she'll need music from somewhere. And I think talking to students, and a lot of people, right after the presentation, we had conversation with few students, and they were saying that they didn't realize that, just being you can't be one thing. You have to diversify.
Yeah.
And learn how to adapt to, any situation. We didn't know the pandemic is going to happen. We're going to close down the studio for 3 months. But then, again, you have to figure it out.
And still have to pay rent. So, yeah.
And you have to pay rent, too. You have to pay studio rent, your own rent.
Exactly. For a building you can't even go into for 3 months. So, yeah.
So, if you don't think that if you got audio degree, you can only do music or you can only mix live sound. You can mix studio sound. You can record studio live. You can like we do Yumi stuff. I forgot.
For Rocket cartoon. Girl.
Rocket Girl.
Voice
we do
over.
audio for animation.
Yep.
They found us on Google, and we sent audio to South Korea.
Yeah.
But we didn't. When we opened the studio, we didn't even think that would be a possibility. We knew we can record audio, and good audio, and content. Any content you see on TV, on the radio, needs good audio.
Mm-hmm.
If your audio sounds like trash, it's just unattractive. Well, to me personally, I'm sure to you.
For anybody that's used to hearing broadcast style television, we're used to hearing, okay, you got cell phone stuff. It can be a little shady, but yeah, broadcast. Everybody knows with that. It's a different level. And that's what we like to bring to all of our clients, that highest level.
And again, we started with, I'm not going to say nothing, but we started with what we had. We didn't have a tube mic. We didn't have all the other dynamic condenser mics we have now, but it took 8 years to earn all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen overnight, but every day you add a little bit every day. It's like professional sport or professional music. You have to practice every day. There is no day off. You have to go in and bang arms. There is no other way. And I think that's how we were able to. And there are two of us. It's really difficult for one person to do everything by herself, by himself. Mm-hmm. But with two of us, we were able to, get so much done. And every day, too, we worked on weekends, birthdays, Christmases, Thanksgiving, my birthday, your birthday. And even talking to my parents, they didn't realize I work on my birthday. I'm like, yeah, I have to work on my birthday. Because I own the business.
Yeah.
There are too many responsibilities.
Yeah.
And people would always... And also, you always want to over-deliver to your clients. Don't be just, mediocre and just be fine with what they ask for. Give them something extra that they didn't expect from you.
Very true. And yeah. And so that was our talk with SAE in a nutshell. And that is it for this episode. Just want to let you guys know, I'm a part of the Fort Lee Chamber of Commerce, a part of the Young Professionals Committee, and just doing my duty to let people know that if you're like a business owner and you would like to, talk with other business owners and would like to network, even though we're out in Jersey, you can hop on a speed networking event. It's March the 4th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be cool.
Is it 4th or 11th?
Huh?
Is it 4th or 11th?
The 4th. The 4th.
March 4th,
for sure.
Okay.
The 4th, lunchtime blitzer. So check that out at fortleechamber.com. Again, that's fortleechamber.com. And it's going to be virtual, so it doesn't really matter where you're at. But if you're interested, come join us. It's going to be people all over the state of Jersey, probably maybe some New York. So check it out. And we're going to be having an open house in the month of March. It's looking like March 18th. So check that out. If you're in the area, we would love for you to come and check out the One of One production studio. We're going to have great fun, drinks, lots of gear to check out. We're going to have it all hooked up. You can listen to it. We also got the new upright piano. So if you want to play a little bit, that'd be great as well. All right. And that is it for announcements. So thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of The Art of Music Tech. I also want you guys to check out like you were saying, we have the One of One production audio kits, the One of One kits, which I'm using right now, the Lewitt LCT 240 with the Focusrite setup. So
Wire World cable.
And Wire World cable. So yeah, if you're interested in any equipment for live streaming, and audio, video stuff for either your place or if you would like to come here, hit us up at oneofOneProductions.com. So, for me and Dennis, for The Art of Music Tech, let's go.
Let's go.
For more information of booking 23DB Productions, visit their website at 23dbproductions.com. Like and follow 23DB Productions at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the latest work.